I said that if the class is going at this pace, that it's difficult want to grasp and have a full knowledge of data analysis, right? So I think the class is going pretty well, and into everything, right? For a beginner, in the past few days, my interest has actually heightened. So I think that the class is going on well. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, yeah. So actually, it's actually good to get feedbacks. Can we hear me, please? Can we hear me? Can we hear me?
We were talking about healing, and
Yes, sir.
because so many of you were not with us, maybe real quick. I'll try to do it as fast as can. We'll catch you up to us.
Uh,
There are a number of methods or ways.
okay. So I said, actually, it is good to get feedbacks like this. So in getting our feedback, one of the reasons why it is important is that myself as tutor, I will know. Okay, so I think Mr. Bashir wrote something. Let me start with that. Okay, it has been refreshing. The class has been good. I think I forgot a lot of things you have spoken in, and it's good to remember it. I can't wait to take. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. So okay, so I said it is actually good to know how we are faring. It is actually good to know how we are faring, and that's because of the fact that so that we know that the teaching style, the reason why we are having short, a bit small class like this is so as to ensure that everybody is actually carried along to the maximum, like to the brim. We could have waited, or maybe do maybe reduce price or do anything to have a large class, 30 persons in a class, 50 persons in a class, and the likes. But the truth is, it is not always effective. That method, that style is not always effective. But in this kind of style, we can get to mingle amongst ourselves, can get to ask ourselves how the teaching style is itself, so that if we need to remodernize, if we need to go another route, it will be easier to reach a consensus amidst every one of us. And then that's one of the reasons why we ask for. So at times like this, we still be asking for feedbacks. And then in fact, on the norms, the first 15 minutes or first 20 minutes of class, I ought not to even be on stage at all. Most times I start class fully by 7:30, and then that is because maybe from next week we'll start looking into that system back, because I think Kumi is on the call and she can easily pick up our responsibility again. So because the first 15 minutes is just to do a kind of refreshing of what we have learned so far, maybe what we did in the last class. If you are given an assignment, she can easily check up on you whether you have done your assignment or not. If there's anything that this or that, she can easily help with all those also. So before I will come up on board, maybe around 7:15, 7:20, latest by 7:30, and we dive fully into the class. So but then so far so good. The feedback has been, it means that we are all adapting to this teaching style, and then we are all getting comfortable with it. And then apart from that, yeah, I mentioned to you yesterday, was it yesterday or 2 days? Yeah, yesterday, that we have to go back to the basics, because it is always good for people that have experience with Excel before. It is always good that we start from what you know before, and then before we move to what you don't know. It is always very good like that. And then even in what you thought you know, I'm so sure you are not familiar with some ribbons on our tabs. I'm so sure you are not familiar with some of them also. And that's part of what Mr. Mazimus was mentioning about the format painter. So they are, because you are not really using them actually, and you've not really been to a kind of structured class that they taught you how the interface is. Or so the truth is, you can't just functions will just be there, just be like, "Ah, I'm not making use of this guy, so just day your day and this and like." And apart from that, the truth is, as much as we have maybe experts on here, possibly people like Mr. Maximum, people like Mr. Basi that has been using Excel before, maybe people like Mr. Emmanuel, you can't be in bank and not be using Excel. So, but then the truth is, we still have some people that don't really have the knowledge of Excel. We have some people that possibly this might be one of their first first time operating on Excel as such. We can have such, one of the example that I always give, I always love to cite is one of my students, in the first cohort. That's the first time I trained is a set of questions. This guy, he just walked up to me and said, "Ah, KP Alpha, oh, I don't really know how to use this guy. I don't really know how to use it. Do you think I can grab it? Do you think I can know it?" And the likes. And then we discussed about it, and we got in class about it. And then, I always tell people that he's one of our best graduating student that year. He was one of our best graduating student that year, because he was very deliberate about it. No knowledge of Excel before, no super knowledge of even computer usage as such before, no super knowledge of it. Just somebody, in fact, the funny part is that he bought the laptop because of the class. Like, he bought a laptop because of the class. So he was not really so vast with laptop usage before. And then it shows the fact that if our training actually covers from beginners level, train people that are not really knowledgeable about it, then we now come to the intermediate level, and then see how far we can. And then the truth is I can't we can't call ourselves experts, because myself, I won't call myself an expert on Excel. I won't come. By the time you see some specialists, especially some specialists when it comes to VBA and micros, I was telling you guys yesterday, you will ask yourself the question that, is it this same Excel? Do I really know how to use this Excel and the likes? By the time you meet some special, and those specialists also, if they are doing their own, and you as a data analyst, you are doing your own, you are playing around some guy, they too, they will be like, wow, so you can still do this on Excel and the likes. That's because everybody have their kind of area of focus in the software. The software is so vast, the software is so big, that it is only what piques your interest, or what you want to create interest in, that you might just learn, develop interest in, and just move on with it. Move on with it. Anyway, someone can say, I want to become an Excel expert. But then, if you want to become an Excel expert, just Excel, then I think you have to be a jack of all trade. I think you have to be a jack of all trade. Like, learn how to use Excel as regards to accounting, learn how to use Excel as regards to do statistical analysis, because you can do your correlation analysis, you can do your regression, your statistical analysis, you can do it on Excel. In fact, Excel is now crazy. Was it last year? One of the development program I was watching last year. It was the infusion of Python into Excel. So now Python can easily be used with Excel. Python can easily be used with Excel. So 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 it's really a lot out there. It's really a lot out there. It's really a lot out there. But then, one of the things I'll still always assure you, that if it has to do with this field, this analytics field, the knowledge you have in this class, we is actually enough to get you started in any field as a data analyst. The knowledge you have in this class, we actually it's the foundation will be so strong that you can build anything on it. Yeah, definitely you do some catch up learning later. I want to put that. Definitely you do some catch up learning later. In fact, it might not really be learning like learning. It might just be, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I have the knowledge of this. Oh, but then can I combine this and this together? Oh, I'm not so sure. Okay, let me watch a YouTube video to see how I can combine this and this together. And the truth is, because you have the basic knowledge of it already, you will grab very fast. And then you might even decide to experiment some things yourself. Okay, if I combine this with this, what will be the result, and this and the likes. At times, that is one of the ways we actually build our technicalities around some things. That's how we build our technicalities around some things. At a point in time, I was making some short videos about how to go about some short things on Excel, how you can use your Excel on your day-to-day life, how you can build your to-do list, how you can do your budgeting on Excel, how you can do some things. Part of your video guided assignments also talks about how to get a kind of build a kind of make decisions. Yeah, how to make decisions using Excel also. There are things you can actually just employ Excel to do for your own personal self, not to talk about your own company. Make decisions, look at your options, weigh your options, then look at how things can actually run smoother. You want to be tracking your to-do lists. I'm not even sure I have access to this system again. I'm not so sure I have access to this system again. Let me try and check. Let me try and check spreadsheet. Spreadsheet. Um, uh, um, So I want to see if I still have access to this system. It's a system I worked on at a uh, Google Doc. I mean, so I want to try and see. Um, I think I did it on this account. So it's a system I built at a particular point in time, just on your Google Excel sheet, and then the system is a kind of tracker, is a kind of tracking system that actually helps you to track activities. These are also things you can actually do on your own. You can do a tracker for your to-do list. You have a list of your you have a list of your to-do list, and then once you are ticking the box, it will tell you the percentage you are done already. It will tell you this. It will give you information about your to-do list at just a glance without really disturbing yourself. So those are things you can actually this the one I want to show us. Let me try and see if I will get it. It's a kind of organization system I built at a particular point in time. This is a to-do list. I open in a new tab. So, but then that's not where I'm going. 60 days. And okay, maybe site impressed. Okay, I think this might be it. So these are simple to-do list on spreadsheet. These are simple to-do list on your on spreadsheet. And then your simple to-do lists. This all these are actually customized. All this everything over here actually customized. Let me remove this guy from the screen. I can have a better feel of things. Is this guy still loading? Yeah, I think it's still loading. So I think this guy is still loading. There should be another column around there. So, but then can you see you tick the box and it shows it cancels it out for you, and then it tells you two is done out of three. It tells you three is done out of three. If you unbox so these are things you can actually play around with on your Excel for your personal consumption, not really for anything. So type anything on color this, and then if you have new activities also, you can have the activities over here, and then it will populate. It will increase the number of tasks you have over here, and then once you are done you can tick here, and then that's all. So these are simple system you can actually build using your Excel. So this I think this is also loading. This is actually a kind of organizational tracking software I worked on. Yeah, so it's a kind of organizational tracking software I worked on. Yeah, so this it looks kind of cumbersome. So what I use over here on this guy for this done is that it has options, and this what we call our data validation. I will show us what data validation is. I will show us how it is being done. I'm just showing you reality of things that is possible, that's achievable on Excel. So this date, so there is a way this date is actually programmed, that there's a way this date is actually programmed that you can't, if you can see, it is saying the cell content violates its validation rule. So this date is set in a way that you can only enter today's date there. That is how it is being programmed. So if I click on this, so 20. So let me click on this date. Okay, okay. Is it because this is the admin end? Possibly because this is the admin end. This is the admin end. Possibly that's why it is changing. But then if somebody is out there, is looking at it, you can't fix a date that is other than today's date over here. So it must surely be today's date. That is why you will always see the error. So you will stop seeing the error by only the time that you input your today's date. So these are systems that one can actually be building on. And the truth is, this at times forms the foundation of all these our softwares we see outside today. All this, if assuming I'm good with programming, I can turn this to a kind of software, and then I will launch it and people will start paying for it. In fact, I was talking with someone, a friend. He has a knowledge, a very good knowledge of programming and the likes. And then you see that the basic calculations that you are doing on your Excel, that is what those guys will just take on go and write Python code for. Write Java code, build the front end, build the back end, and then they launch it out as softwares. So if you as a data analyst, you are a very creative data analyst, and you have possibly a developer beside you, you guys might actually be able to do a lot. In fact, I was telling my team during our retreat, was it about 2 weeks ago? I said, the truth is now I'm actually praying for the gift of developers. As you just get like two developers that say, oh guys, you know what? Let's just work together. We will not. The reason why I'm looking for gift of them is because we don't have big money to pay for developers yet at the moment. But I just like if I should get just two developers, maybe one front end, one back end. I say, you know what, guys, let's do some demo together. Let's do some running of things together. I say, I'll be one of the most happy guys on that because of the fact that there are structures that you can actually put in place using your Excel, ordinary your spreadsheet. And the truth is, by the time this software as this thing as minute as it looks, this is what some people build as software, as minute as it looks. They will just tell you, ah, track your to-do list, and then it will not give you much more than this. You can just spice it up with one or two other things to make it more to make not to make it just one way, and that's all. So that is just to show the reason why I'm showing you all this is to show you possibilities actually with the use of your Excels. Is to show you possibilities to widen your hunger for to do more research about what you can actually use Excel to do. I did not attend any training that taught me how to do this. The training I attended on Excel was just normal. In fact, it was much more accounting tinted self. But then I had to get creative on my own. That how can I employ Excel in the structure I am at the moment? How can I work around some things? What are the things I am always doing over and over and over and over again that I can build a kind of structure around that can make my life easier? That can make, in fact, I always tell people KP is one of the most lazy guys you can ever meet. Actually, it's like I'm one of the most lazy guy you can ever meet. I always tell people I'm one of the most lazy. People always see it out there. No, you are not lazy. You are this. You are that. Really, I always get bored of things easily. I get bored of things easily. So anytime I'm jumping on a new job on a new work or anything, the first thing I'm always looking for is how to automate my recurring activities. That's one thing I'm always looking for. That's my first thing. So once I automate it, what people will be doing for 2 days, I've automated it already. Within 1 hour, 2 hours, I'm done with it already. Just to supply the information, and then the automation will bring out all the information, and I'm done. So with that, I can do my work faster. In fact, at the point in time, a client just messaged me about a work, and then he was telling me, can I get the work tomorrow? Can I get the work tomorrow? I was like, if you can pay for rush work, if you can pay for, and they can't pay for the rush work. You know what I did? I already have a kind of automated Excel for the work. So I just picked my system. I just took all my dimensions and this and plug it into my automated system, and it gave my result. Within 4 hours, I was done with the work. And then those kind of work, at times you give to some other guys, they will be there for a week. 4 hours, just stay overnight, and then I was done with the work. So for me, I am lazy, and then I saw that data analytics has actually been working for me. That's actually been working for me. It has actually been giving me the luxury of time to do my things in my own way, to be lazy about things, to be very lazy about things. Don't mind me, but then I'm not saying that you should be lazy, but then I'm just telling you that there are possibilities, and don't limit yourself to what we are only teaching in class. Don't limit yourself. Try to explore even while we are in class together. Try to explore. So even while we are trying to explore, even while we're in class together, if you run into any error, if you run to anything, you can come to class and then sort it out. And just like I always tell my students, the best time you can get 100% of my attention is while you are still a student. I always tell my students that, and I'm also telling you guys that now. The best time you can get my attention 100%, that if once I see your message on WhatsApp, I will be obliged to reply almost immediately, except I'm not available, is when you are still a student. I'm not saying that once you are no longer a student that I will not respond to your message again or to your mail again. I'm not saying that. Don't quote me wrong. But I'm saying that once you are done with your program and other students are on board, at that particular point in time, my attention will be fully on them. So I will give them more priority than you guys. That's what I mean by that. I will give them more priority than you guys. In fact, if I have a problem with you and I have a problem with current students, definitely I will most likely slide you. I will most likely slide you. So that is why I'm saying that the best time you can actually get the best out, you can make everything I have to give. You can ask your quality questions is why we're in class together now. And then let's say maybe because your program is technically about 3 months, it's 12 weeks, 10 weeks of class, then your final project will extend for another 2 weeks. And then before we talking about your final scores and every other thing. So in our class, I promised to give you 250 MX keyboard shortcuts, and then I just uploaded it on your LMS. So it's already on your LMX. So you have some shortcuts that you can actually use. To an extent, I don't even know whether the watermarking we did for this, but then we've been using this for a while anyway. So these are your shortcuts that you can do where to go to your LMX, download the shortcuts, look at them, then start applying the shortcuts. I'm not saying that you should read it like a textbook or you read it like you want to read for an exam. Please don't do that. So you can just come to your shortcuts and pick, let's say, about 5 in a day. You can just pick 5 in a day and get deliberate about using that 5 in a day. In fact, it might not be a day, it might be a week. Whatever you want to do that week, you are trying as much as possible to use the 5. The 250 we have here, I'm not using the O250. I'm not using the O250. At times, maybe I can't even remember the O250 safe. I'm not even sure if you ask me to mention formulas. If I try, maybe I can mention 50 of shortcut. Maybe if I try, maybe I can mention 50 to 100. But then not that I cram them. It is because I have been using them. So with use, you get better with them. That's the summary of that. With use, you get better with them. So it's just for you to get deliberate. Just for you to get deliberate about making using your shortcut because your shortcut makes your work faster. It gives you, let's say, extra 5 to 10 seconds instead of looking for it to do it on your screen. Just tap tap, and then you are done. It gives you a buffer of extra 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Now imagine if you are using like 10 shortcuts in just a go. That's already a buffer of 1 minute already. Now see the cooling effect and the like over time. So that is why your this is actually very very much important. Oh, okay. So let's get back on our Excel. In our class on 2 days ago, we started with our discussion around what data analytics is itself. And then we add our definitions. We are not going back into all those definitions. If you have your jotting notes, you should have all those. And then possibly, if you need these sheets, I might be able to share it with you guys later. I can put it on your materials. But then, if you are not in the class, you might not be able to understand all the jargons, this there, this that here, and the like. So, but then if you need the sheets, I can make it available for you guys. So in our class yesterday, we started our discussion about Excel interface itself. And in our Excel interface, we looked at the basic functions. We looked at our keyboard, we looked at our fonts, we looked at our alignments, we looked at our numbers, we looked at our styles, formatting as table, we looked at our cell, how to remove cell, rows and columns, how to add. We looked at our editing where we talked about our filtering and sorting. We talked about our sum, our aggregate, and we said that we will start out with our aggregates today. We look at our field. You have your field down, field right, field left, field up. Then you have your clean. You want to clean your format. You want to clear your content. You want to clean anything. So we have that. And then we move to our insert page where we talked about our pivot table. We showed us that the pivot table is to summarize complex data, and then our table is still remains the same. Then yesterday we also saw that we can actually import pictures. Yeah, it's as simple as ABC from this device. You can easily import pictures. Let it load. Then I can easily say, come to my download. I think I have a picture I can use. Yes, into analytics, insert, and the guy will bring the picture here. So where's my picture? See, the guy's bringing the picture here. Yeah, so this is the picture over here. So that's basically how it is being done. So you can easily have your pictures and then put it anywhere. In fact, if you like, you can put the picture of yourself and your husband on your, if that would be your motivation for doing your data analytics process, or maybe you can put the picture of your wife, or people that are not married, like Mr. Basi. You can put the picture of your babe, of your fine babe. Maybe I will even consider it. Just that I don't want to put the picture of my babe on the Excel sheet I'll be using for you in class, so that she should not be entering your eyes, and I will not be distracting you guys. That's why I'm not putting that picture here. So, but then that's just it. You can put any picture, and then most times we use these pictures to customize our dashboard. Yeah, we use these pictures to customize our dashboard. So by the time we get on dashboard, you will see a lot of picturing. You will see a lot of picturing. So we and then from there we looked at our the charts we have. We talked about the fact that we have column chart, we have bar chart, we have pie chart, we have mm, and tree map, we have our map, we have different guys. We have map itself. We have map itself. So we have different guys when it comes to that. And then yesterday also I mentioned about your slicers to you. Your slicers that it can be used to filter. It's self-defeating function like filtering. And then also for our timeline, we mentioned about that yesterday also. And then our page layout, I briefly mentioned about this yesterday. Not so much important, but then it's just to so that you can have basic knowledge of everything that's happening on your Excel. That's why we mentioned that. And yesterday I showed you the function library. So just like you have a power bank for people that don't have light in your house. Anyway, most of you guys always buy a power bank. And what does power bank do for you? Your power bank stores power for you. It stores power for you, so that by the time your phone is getting low, you can easily charge it up. You can easily charge it up, use the extra power. So in the same way, also on Excel we have a kind of function bank. We have a function bank, but then we call it a function library over here. We have a function bank. So anytime you feel like you don't have any function on your head, or you are low on function on formulas to use, the truth is you can run to this guy to come and explore the formula that it has to offer. You can come and exploit this guy. And then hey, if time permits, we'll use as many as possible on this guy. I'm coming. Let me look at a sheet. I think I should have a sheet. I don't know if I have it on this system, but then I think there's a sheet I will give to you guys later that will test your knowledge of formulas. So, but then I will still decide mathematics. Okay, I will look for it. So I will still decide whether that sheet, I will send the sheet to you, or I can just make it a quiz for you on your LMS. The last people I send the sheet to them, and then okay, I will send the sheet to you. That's how it will work, because I have to look at your formulas in the back end. So that sheet actually covers a lot of formulas for you guys, like a lot of formulas for you guys. And then just to test your knowledge of formulas, like all these if formula, all this and formula, to test your knowledge of some of these formulas also. So we have our test formula. We have quite a number of them. In fact, they are more than this. In fact, that's the truth. They are more than what you have over here. Yeah, because I know that we have what we call test before, test after. We have some formulas that this particular guy is not giving to us. But then, if you are using Microsoft 365, or you are using the pro version of Excel, you'll be privy to that formula. So and then yesterday also I mentioned about data. I mentioned that we have different sources of getting data to on here. We have different sources of getting. Let me see. Is it part of? Is it? Do we have it as a standalone? If you don't have it as a standalone, then I think it's best I just stay on this place a little bit. Understanding data type, GitHub, data cleaning, okay, data Okay, so we don't have it as a topic as it were, but then there's I've seen some activities that we allow us to touch it. For example, introduction to Power Query. There is no way we can teach introduction to Power Query and chat without touching on this. But then just a kind of high level, tip of the iceberg, just a tip of the iceberg. So there's something we call web scraping, and then in web scraping, one of the things that we do in web scraping is that we go online to go and get data of what is happening online, and then that is what we call getting data from web. I won't touch on tests, and I won't touch on CSV file yet. I won't touch on CSV file yet. But then for your test file, by the assignment you will do after next week, you will have an idea of what your test file looks like, and then you will start you will start doing it. You start using this guy by the end of next week. So but then from web, so it's simply us coming to this place. Possibly you are seeing something fascinating online, and then don't mind me, no. So possibly you are seeing something fascinating online, and then let's say Premier League Premier League table, or maybe somebody can give us something else we can search. You know, okay. So let's look at this. Let me look at this. Let me look at this. So this is our Premier League table, but then I'm coming. Is this coming as a table? Is this coming as a table over here? Do we have it in table? Okay. So let me confirm if we have it as a table. If you don't have it as a table, we will see. So I'm copying this link. Control C to copy. Control C to copy. Then I can come back to my Excel and say, let me come to another sheet that we have not been using, and then let's say from web. So the guy's trying to think. So all this actually, your web scraping acts to do majorly with the strength of your own network. So if you don't have a strong network like myself, don't mind me, my network is not that strong. But then if you don't have a strong network like myself, you might have it dragged. So what I did now is just I pressed Control V to paste, Control V to paste. You are getting used to the formulas now, up to the shortcuts now. So I can click on my OK, and let's see. So what this guy will do is that it will go on that our website, and it will look at the tables we have on there. So if you don't have any table there, then that means we might need to run away, because this guy can only recognize tables because it is a structured data setting. Possibly I should anyway. I think you have a quiz for before the next class, to test your knowledge about the things we have talked about, talking about your structured data, your unstructured data, and the like. So connect. So in fact, if I, even myself mentioning that you have quiz, I'm even getting scared now, because I'm trying to look at my schedule, and I'm trying to balance the fact that I will go on your LMS to be setting the question one by one. Set the question first offline, and then now be setting the question again on your LMS and the like. So it's a lot of work on my own part also. But then it is fine. I will see how I can just balance my new schedule. You guys are enjoying. You guys are enjoying. We are testing LMS with you guys, and you guys are having a lot of quiz to write. But then on the other hand too, you guys are also working. So so this guy will just connect to the we make a connection to the website, and then right, so it will go there to extract all the data that we have on there. And then just like I said, it's we only the only guy that is useful for this guy is our structured data set. However, it will bring everything. Actually, it should bring everything. So even on our PowerPoint query, or on our Power BI query, it will bring everything. You are the one that will say, oh, okay, this is what I want. But then your Power BI itself, under tables, we only bring tables identified. It will only bring tables identified. It is when you are checking your web view that you can see everything. So but then Excel, with Excel, you should be able to extract everything with Excel. So let's see this guy. Okay. So this guy is taking us a little bit into our Power Query. I know that possibly some people might not have seen this part of their Excel before, even for people that have been using Excel before. So this is our introduction. This is our navigator to Power Query. So this is the guy that takes us to Power Query. We are not so much bent or keen about it for now. By the time we get to introduction to Power Query, we'll be able to explain this in more detail, and then we jump into on our Power Query to see. And then that's one of the reasons why I am taking the pain to show you this now, because I know that from web is one of the things that I might easily overlook when I'm teaching you Power Query itself, because Power Query we just go through CSV file, pick CSV file, and then there's a lot to even look at on under Power Query itself. So I might not have the luxury of time to be coming back to extracting from web so I can see how. So it is just best that today I take advantage of that. So what we have in plan for today is your aggregate functions. And your aggregate functions are not really a biggie actually. They are not really a biggie. They are simple things that you guys, in fact, you guys can even teach me actually. Even you guys can teach me. So it's just like myself asking a university graduates what is 2 plus 2. Ah, when you don't attend full time, okay, I do not mean full time. I mean when you don't attend all these Abele school. I mean you don't attend all these. A university graduate should be able to know what 2 plus 2 is and the like. So it's your aggregates are simple as 2 plus 2. So it's just for you to know the right step towards it. Why is this guy dragging? This guy is thinking so hard though. Or possibly the level of information. I did not check. Possibly the level of information on here rejects. Maybe the level of information there is kind of on the high side. Not so much. Not so much now. Just a table. Just a table. One of the projects that my team was working on, we worked on last year, was analysis of all these footballs. We did analysis of football to look at what is happening in the football world and the like. So very interesting analysis actually. Very interesting analysis. Very interesting. Uh, we timed out waiting for this page. Okay, so refresh. Oh, very interesting. Let me even see if I can get to show if I can even get to show you that. Um, uh, uh, Let me check if I can even get to show you that. What's um, so this is our team lead for the project. I'm trying to yeah, this is the group. Um, 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 uh, don't mind me no. These are some of the things we worked on. Goal difference, this and that. I want to see where it is starting from. Okay. These are some of the things we worked on to see booked foul and card in the past 5 seasons, to see the club that has the highest number of booked foul, the club with the highest number of yellow cards, the club with the highest number of red cards. Just this is just a summary of all these things. What people might not really be keeping record of and the likes, and they might they might want to know it. This is another one. This is goal and shots. So we have this total goals at opposite goal posts. We have Man City, we have Chelsea, we have this that and the likes. So then shot on target, total goals and the likes. So we have information about this. And then the truth is all this web scrapping that we used for this, we used some of these websites. We use some of these websites to get all those data, and that's one of the reasons why your web scraping is actually very very much important if you want to dive into some level of knowing. So this guy is taking our time. So I don't want to get delayed about that. But then if we don't really cover it expressly on Excel, definitely we should have time to do that on our Power BI. So let's jump back to our report sheet. Let's make this kind of more robust. Let me delete this. So let's say Chokolapo. Um, let's make this kind of much more robust. So yeah, so I think we are getting there. So possibly let's add more subjects over here also. So I want to add so here I can have English. I can have English. I can have social science. Social science. Which other subjects? Yeah, you guys are giving subjects now. Uh, Geography. Is it? Are you guys in class?
Data processing.
Okay. Data
Yes, sir.
data processing. Okay. Give me another subject over. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's do it together. We're doing it together. Data processing. Yeah, which other one?
PH.
PHA. So you will know sports people like that. Which other one? Last one. Let's pick a last one.
Chemistry. Okay, it's
We have
chemistry.
chemistry there.
Oh, economics.
Home economics. You
Oh,
you will know married people by the way they are suggesting things. So you will know married people by the way they are suggesting things. Because home economics, how to cook for my husband. uh, so we have this. We have this. So now the mark obtainable for all this is all through is 100. So so let's do our random again equals to. So random is a function. So let's start with this. We're already getting into functions proper, and I should start teaching you rudiments to functions. I should start teaching you rudiments of functions. So on Excel, just like I mentioned earlier, we have functions library, just like your power bank. And then the truth is, the function library is integrated in a way that anytime you want to use function on your Excel, the first guy you type is your equals to sign. Anytime you want to do any calculation on your Excel, any form of calculation, whether it is just 2 plus 2, it must have your equals to sign in front of it. So anything you are typing without equals to sign is taken as a literal text, no formula, nothing behind it. Anything you typed apart, so your equals to is passing a message to your Excel that the next thing I want to do is I want to have a calculation. I want you to help me out. I want you to help me to look at it logically on the likes. So your equals to sign is a prompter for your Excel that something is about to happen. So don't forget that. Equals to start any of your calculation, either your arithmetic calculation, whether your logical, whether your functions, anything. Your equals to sign is very important. So now I want to use a formula. I said random. So because of the fact that Excel has an inbuilt function library, because Excel has an inbuilt function library, so once you type anything, it will give you options that are in his library. And the truth is, Excel cannot perform any function or any activities that is not in his library. So even if the formula is correct, even if the function is correct, if it is not in his library, Excel will not process it. So that is why you will see test before, test after, working on some PC or on some Microsoft device and not on everyone. For example, it can't work on this guy that I'm using at the moment. So it means that before I teach you that, it is either I uninstall this Microsoft I'm using and put 365 there, or I will use another system for that particular class that has what I'm looking for. So that does not mean that the test before or test after as a function is not correct. It is correct. In fact, it will work very fine on those other PC. But then because of the fact that it is not in this guy's library, this guy does not recognize it. It is not just there. So once you press your equals to and you press your, if I let press A, it will give us all the formulas that is starting with A. It will give us all the formula that is starting with A. Press B, it will give you all the formula that is starting with B. That is how it is. Press C, it will give you all the formula that is starting with C, except you don't have. Let me even see Q. Do you have any formula starting with Q? Okay, we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Z, do we have any formula starting with Z? Okay, we have. Which other word? W. Equals to W. We have W. Okay, X. I will stay here for X. I'm trying to look. Which word guy will not have formula? J. Okay, J does not have. What about K? K has. J does not. Okay. L. L has a lot. H has a lot. G. So it shows that there's a library for this, and this guy will always give you list of suggestions. And then this is one of the leverage we have with Excel, that Excel actually provides guidance for anybody using it. And that's one of the reasons why I said that for Excel, even if you are not taught, once you understand how the guidance work, how Excel can guide you, you will be able to navigate your way easily. So now I want to use a formula, and what I want to perform, the magic I want to perform is that all these guys, they have a score, just like I did yesterday. So let me delete all this so that we can start from the scratch again. So we know that the total obtainable score over here is 100, 100, 100, 100, 100 for every one of them. So let me do this. Okay. So it's 100, 100 for every one of them. This is total. This is the obtainable score. Now, because of the fact that if you are a tutor, you know that you are going to look at your exam scores and then start typing it. Oh, this guy has 57, this guy has 64, this guy has this guy has that, this guy has that, and the likes. You know that is how you would do it. There's no doubt about that. But now, because of the purpose of this class, I don't have your report sheet yet. Don't worry, we'll start having it very soon. I don't have your report sheet yet, and I need to compute a figures very fast and populate it across board to all this to every guy here. I don't want to do it one by one. If I'm doing this one by one, it will take me. We might still be here for the next, possibly if I'm fast, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. If I'm very fast with it, just type in any values, because at times I might want to process a little bit and say, what should I put here? What should I put here? Even though it does not mean anything. But then I have a guy on this guide that can actually help me to do that easily. So I can do my equals to random. So we have a random function. So now we have it in two ways, because this rand is part of what will be tested on, and that's one of the reasons why I'm taking my time to explain in one of your tests. So if I do my rand and close it, it will give me a value between 0 and 1. It will give me a value between 0 and 1. If I do my normal rand like this, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. This is your normal rand. It's just like a binary. But then I don't want to do 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. I need it to be, let's say my students are very brilliant. The least person that the person that scores the least is let me use 50, and the person that scores the highest is, let's say, 93. These guys. So I can easily come here and say equals to random. So now instead of using my normal random, I can use my random between. So my random between will now be asking you, let me go back. When I press my random between, this guy is showing me return a random number between the numbers you specify. That is the instruction. It is giving us an insight into what is obtainable. So this formula is to return a random number between the numbers you specify. So you are the one that will specify your boundaries. That's the word. You're the one that specify your boundaries. And it's not only for this guy. So by the time we start doing our sum, let's do sum. See, add all the numbers in a range of cells. It is giving us instruction. So that is beautiful. That's the beautiful thing about Excel. By the time we come here, it said add the cell specified by a given condition or criteria. Some ifs, add cell given by a specific set of conditions or criteria. Some product, return the sum of products of corresponding range or array. Sum square, return the sum of square of the argument. The arguments can be numbers, array number, or reference to. So this guy will give you instruction, will give a kind of definition of what these functions are. And the truth is, if you are naive about it, and you can read the definition and you can see, oh, this is what this guy is expecting from me, then the truth is you are already a step ahead. So now I'm doing random between. So and we said random between is returning a random between the number you specify. So random between. So what are the numbers I want to specify? I want to specify between 50 and 93. So here we have your bottom and your top, just like your floor and your ceiling. Your leg is on your floor. You can't go below floor yourself. And you have your ceiling. You can't jump, and then jump above your ceiling. So that's the maximum, that's the peak you can actually get to. So my bottom for in this case is 50, and my top is 93. That's my ceiling point, my floor and my ceiling point. So just click on your enter, and this guy we automatically bring a value between 50 and 93. Is it 89 a value between it? Yeah, it is. So now I have taught us how to do your field right. So we can do Control R to field right. Can you see? Now you can see that this guy changed. This guy changed. Now it was 89 before, and now it has changed to 63. You don't need to panic about that. And the reason why you don't need to panic is because we are using random number. So anytime you refresh, it will still pick a random number again. So the formula is a kind of continuous formula because this is not our real values, it is our demo values. So but then there's a way we can do it that it will not, like, it's not like there's a way as per se, but then we can easily copy it and then delete the formulas behind it so that we can retain only the values, and we are going to do that. Or we might not even do, we won't do that for now, so that by the time we get to our class on paste special, you will understand better. Because even if I'm doing it now, you guys won't understand it. I mean, I won't explain it in details in this class. That's what I mean by that. Not that you won't understand it. You can understand it, but then there's a class for that will talk about all the kind of space special that we have, and you'll be able to have a kind of holistic view of things. So for now, if you see any value changing, don't panic about that. Just know that it is the formula that we have in between it. This formula, anytime we refresh, the formula will always refresh. Can you see? It's now refreshing. Anytime we go back there and we refresh again, the formula will still refresh. So you don't need to panic about that. That's because of the formula. It is obeying our instruction of pick a value between 50 and 93. That's the instruction the guy is obeying. Pick a value between 50 and 93. That's his instruction. So we can now do this. So we have filled right already. So now we can press Ctrl Shift and down. So Ctrl Shift and down. helps you to highlight all your values down here on your table. It helps you to highlight all your values around here. What I pressed just now is Control Shift and down. Control Shift and down. So now I can now press my Control D to fill down. Your Control D to fill down. So Control D, can you see? To fill down. So can you see? Shortcut. It makes your work faster. Shortcut. Control D. So if I don't want to go through this route, I can Control Z and I can do this. I can come over here, highlight this guy, and then come over here, let it change to black. Then double click, pa. So it will by default populate for everything. So that's that also. That's that also. So it is quite easy to do. So but then we are actually teaching about functions itself. So and then this is actually a means of getting a data for ourselves to work on. So the functions we'll be looking at, let's look at them. The functions we'll be looking at anyway, we are not restricted to just this here flow. We can go above that. So we have these functions. Let me copy this and now bring it here. Okay, so let me copy it and bring it here. Control V. Okay, Mr. Maximus, you have a question.
Yes, please. What's the shortcut that you use to fill in? Control
D.
Control D to fill.
Yeah, Control D. So we have our minimum, we have our maximum. Yeah, please. Hope if you guys notice that this thing is changing. Hope you guys understand the reason why it is changing now. Hope you guys understand the reason why it is changing. Can you see? It is changing again. Hope you guys understand the reason why it is changing. Are you guys here? Or is it that you guys don't notice?
Yes, we understand.
Okay, you understand? Okay, you understand.
What is changing, please?
All your figures on this table are changing. All your figures on this table are changing. So for example now, can you see that it has changed again?
Why?
Mr. Maximus, are you sure you are in class or you want to give your password? Because I just took my time to explain the reason why it is changing. Okay, so the reason why it is changing, just like I explained, possibly you are not because if I do anything here, like now, once it refresh, it will keep changing. That is because the formula we used is random. It is a formula, random between. So anytime we keep refreshing this, it will always keep changing because it will assume a value between our bottom and our top. That is how it is a formula. It is a formula, and formula will keep being a formula. So the only way around this, that if you don't want these guys to change, is I can do this. What I did, I'm highlighting with, I'm picking this guy, Control Shift right to highlight everything to the right, then down to highlight everything to the down. Then I do my Control C to copy, Control C to copy. Then I can come here and use this guy. So with this, can you see that there's no formula there again? There's no formula there again. So it can't change again. It will now be very static. So what did I do? Don't worry, I will teach you what I did later. By the time we get on our by the time we get to our paste, I will teach you that later. So it's a way of whetting your appetite anyway. It's a way of whetting so that you will not miss that class. So that you don't miss class. So with this now, it won't change again. So we have static values all through now. So now we want to know the total for each of them. Alimi Oluwakemi, what's the total? So the question is, what is the total obtainable score? So the total obtainable score is equals to sum. So instead of coming and saying equals to this one plus this one plus this one plus this one, I'm doing it one by one. That is a lot of work. So am I sure I want to do this on table? Anyway, I don't have any issue with using table anyway. I don't have any issue with using table anyway. But then so the reason why I'm asking the question of I'm actually I want to use this with table. This is table. Once you apply a formula on this first guy, by default, you don't it will help you to calculate it across board. That is why it is table. Once you apply a formula here, it will assume the formula for everything across board. So now, so instead of doing the equals to 1 by 1, I can easily do equals to sum sum sum. So say add all the numbers in a range. So click on the sum or open your equals to, okay. Then come and click on all these guys and drag these guys to this point and click on your enter. So can you see that everything got populated immediately? So our total obtainable score is 1200 for each one of them. And then by default, this guy has used the formula we used up here to calculate what is here. Can you see sum? Can you see sum? Can you see sum? So the guy has assumed the formula because this is only possible because it is table. Assuming we are not using a table, then we will need to fill down. But then because it is table, that is why once you use your aggregate function, it will populate down for every entities on your table. So now if I don't want to go through that route, if I don't want to use my sum, if I don't want to use my sum, what other formula can I use? I can use my alt equals to. So the shortcut I press now is your alt and equals to. So and I click on my enter. So can you see that for this, I don't need to go through the route of clicking sum or equals to sum. I can just click on alt and equals to. So your alt and equals to is the shortcut on your keyboard that actually allows you to sum a range of number. And then by default, your Excel will pick the nearest range of numbers, and then whether vertically or horizontally. So it will pick the range of numbers and it will perform the calculation for you. So once I click on enter now, it will give me my answer. So what I just did was that I pressed my alt and equals to sign. Alt ALT on your keyboard and equals to, and it will give you this. So that's another shortcut. Another shortcut. So now we have this. This is looking kind of. They are telling us to pick who is the best student in the class, who has the highest score. Yes, we know that the highest score you can ever have is 1200. But then who has the highest score? What is the class average? What is the class average? Those are the questions you want to be able to answer. What is the class average? Who is the best student in mathematics? Who is the best student in physics? Who is the best student in chemistry? Who is the best student in accounting? Who is the best student in each of these subjects? You want to see what is the average for each of these subjects. You want to see what is the minimum score in each of these subjects. You want to see what is the maximum score in each of these subjects. You want to see all those level of information, and those guys are what we call our aggregates. So your sum, your average, your minimum, your maximum, they are your aggregate functions. Your sum, your average, maybe count numbers, then your maximum and your minimum. Those are your aggregate functions. So what they do is that they help you to aggregate. My teacher will say that don't use grammar to explain grammar to me. They use grammar to explain grammar to me. But then we get it, Abby. Since we got it, I don't need to break down that grammar. But then it is just to help us to kind of loop them together, to sum them together, and have a kind of holistic or a kind of a sided view of things. Yeah. It is kind of partial because it is not a kind of holistic view. So now I want to calculate my sum. I already have the formula for calculating sum, which is very fine. We already know that, so I can easily do that for over here also. So if I press my alt equals to for this, can you see it is picking it? But then it is doing more than what I am sending it, because I don't need this obtainable mark. I don't need it. So I will need to come here, drag this guy down to this place, And then for this place, I don't need, in case they put any value over here, I don't need it. So the only way I can get the best value for this is if I cut all these and I put them directly over here. So I think with that I can get my alt equals to, and then can you see, but then I don't need the first one, I don't need this guy. We are changing now. This guy is not changing now. So this guy has decided not to change it. So okay, but possibly because I'm using a table to speaking it holistically. Let me give my space back if that is what you want. I beg, don't come and disturb my head. Yeah. So this is giving me what I want. So I can easily just drag this back up and then press enter. So my total score for mathematics, all total score for mathematics is 2,691. So the question now is that, so for this, I can populate the formula across board for this also. Control what? Someone should remind me the shortcut. Control what? Someone should remind us the shortcut. Which shortcut?
For
Eh?
For the sum?
No. So we have the sum here, and then what the formula that I already have here, I want to populate it across board. Yeah, so that what is here will also be here, be here. So
Okay,
so
that's Control R, right?
yeah, we can do our Control R. Yeah, Control R. So what your Control R will do is that it will populate the formula across board for every one of them. So you can now see that this is also the same sum. It's also the same sum. It's also the same sum. It's also the same sum, and like that, and like that, and like that, and like that. So now we have done for sum, and you can see that the total sum of all their scores is 33,000 anyway. Even for teachers, we don't need this information. We don't need the sum per subject. But then we need average, definitely. So for average, you can do equals to average. You can see this is its average. So this return the average arithmetic mean of its argument, which can be number or name or array or reference. So average, double click on this guy, then we pick our number, this, control shift up, then I don't need control shift down. So it has picked all the number, control shift down. I'm using shortcut for you guys now so that you guys can start getting yourself used to shortcuts. And then that's one of the reasons why I'm mentioning the shortcut I'm using. Control shift down. So I picked from the first one and I press control shift and down. So and then you click on your enter. So this is our average score under mathematics. This is our average score on our mathematics. So now we can do the same thing for others. Say equals to average, and go through the same process for them. Go back up, click the first one, control shift down, it will pick everything, then enter. So please, when you're using your control shift down, always be conscious, because so let me experiment one for you now. So now let's go and do average for this, because deliberately I've put a space over here. So let's go and do it. Equals to average. So let's go to their first number. Say this, control shift down. So can you see that there is a break? The guy is not picking our control shift down up to the last point again. He's not picking it up to the last point like others did. That is because this guy here is regarding itself as space. And once there is a space, your control shift down will break at that particular point in time. So it is breaking at the nearest at the last line. It does not cover for your space. It does not jump your space. Yeah, that's the word. It does not jump your space. That guy does not know how to jump. We have been telling the guy to be jumping, just go down. But then the guy, I don't know how to jump. Don't disturb my head. And that is his own nature. He does not know how to jump. So, and then once you understand that this guy does not know how to jump, you want to be very careful that when you're using your control shift down to highlight, you want to be sure that there is no space that can cause a break in between. You want to ensure that it is a free flow. Everything is just going straight. You want to ensure that. So since that is that, I can easily come back here and then delete this my guy back, and then we can easily go back and do our equals to average. So the question will now be, what about in a scenario where, okay, so let me give us that scenario. Let me look at that scenario. Back. So the question will now be, what about if a scenario that possibly it is one student that does not have the space. Anyway, you can put 0, but then in a kind of real life scenario whereby it's not about score, it's not about students, it's not about anything now. That you can't put anything in the space and the likes, but then you need to just jump over it. So how can you do that? So you can come here, press your control shift down. So it will stop at your first break. Still hold your control shift, press down again. It will come here. Still that's your control shift, then down again. So it will go to wherever you are going. So it is we coming up and saying, guys, we know say you know if you jump, oh yeah, control shift down. Okay, you don't reach your bus stop, Abby. Oh yeah, jump, control shift down. So we are the one instructing the guy to jump. And then even as he's jumping, he can't jump to the last guy. He has to jump to the nearest support. He has to jump to the nearest support before we now pick a race again and say, okay, now I have full support. Control shift down, now go to the last guy. So that is how far this guy can go. He can only jump one, jump. It can only jump for you, and then pick it up again. So then enter. Then even if I delete this guy now, it will not affect our results. So yeah, so 72.4, it will not affect our results. So I can do my control R for this, for the remaining, since it is still the same formula. I can do my control R. So now we have the average total score to be this. Average total score is 84849.26. That's the average total score. That's your class average for that semester. That's your class average. So now we want to see the minimum score in all these guys. Still the same formula, still the same way. Write your minimum. Can you see? Return the smallest number in a set of value. Ignores logical value and test. Can you see? It ignores logical values and test. So let's go there. This, then come back here, click on this guy, control shift down again, and then click on your enter. So the minimum we have for this guy is 50. So let's do it across board. Control R. So people have 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 55, 50, 50, 50, 51, 50, 50. And the minimum score, the last person in the class, has 743. So the question now is that now we know the minimum score. We know the person that has the lowest in the class. How can we quickly spot it without going one after the other to be looking at who has the score, who has the score? That is another system we will talk about by the time we get to conditional formatting. By the time we get to conditional formatting, I will teach you how to do quick spots. Who is the owner of this lowest score? Who is the owner? We want to know. We don't know, and we really want to know. So how can we go about that? We will do that. And then on the very high level, on the very high and crazy level, and then a system behind what most supermarkets always use is what we call VLOOKUP, your lookup function. So by the time we get to our lookup function also, we can easily build a system around this that we just, whatever value we have at any place, it will just come over here and pick out the values for us. It will just pick it out for us. So that's another system that we'll still look at in our week 4 of our Excel class. It should be our week 4, either week 3 or week 4 of our Excel class. Your H lookup, your V lookup. What does it mean? How does it operate? We will. But then I believe that by next week we should I believe by so sorry, a minute. Timmy, your audio is getting into me. Your audio is getting into me. You are distracting me. Your audio is getting into this. I beg. So sorry for that. My room door is widely open. That's why the audio can easily infiltrate. Okay. So by that time by the time we get to our conditional formatting, we will look at how to easily use this guy to spotlight some of these our guys. Then your maximum value also, let's look at the maximum. So the same way your minimum operates is the same way your maximum operates. So come back here again, Control Shift down, and then this, Control Shift down, then this. Then we can have our Control R across board. In fact, I can come and just quickly come and drag this. It is still the same thing. So the highest in our class is 843. That's the highest in our class. 937 rather. 937. 937 is the highest in our class. So that is basically how to go about our simple arithmetics. So this will form part of your next assignment anyway. One of your first assignments. So your assignment for next week is that this system that we build at the moment, you are going to replicate it. So what I will do for you is that I will have this Control C, Control N, Control N, and then I will put this for you guys over here. Yeah. So I'll put this guy for you over here. I can make it spacious like this, but then I will delete all these guys for you. Yeah, I will delete all this, and then definitely I will delete all my formulas. I'll delete all my formulas. So whatever we do in class today, you guys are to replicate it. So I will save this as your class assignment 1. So we created a folder. Data analytics class, January class, Excel class, then class assignment 1. Then save this. So I'm going to drop this on your LMS. So that you guys can do this as a kind of quick. So I want to see your random between. If you like, you can set your own to whatever you want. And if you like, I know that some people like Mrs. Adekoke, she will be looking for my name and she will deliberately put maybe 40 or 30 across all my names. Don't worry. Maybe I should even remove my name. What do you say? Maybe I should. Maybe I should even remove my name before you guys will just be putting 30, 20. No, don't worry. That's your own definition. I will not take that. By the time you are putting small marks in my name, don't worry. I'll also give you small marks by the time I'm marking. So that's just my degree anyway. So that is that. So for our if statement, when we are getting to our if statement, we are already. I will jump if statement for now, is because our if statement is not an aggregate. It's actually a logical statement. Your if statement is a statement. If is a statement, so it is one of our logical statement, and it is the easiest of our logical statements. So I might not touch if in class today. I might not. I think we have a class for logical statements also. I might not touch if in class today. I might want to. Okay, so even if I don't touch it in class today, we have to touch it. In fact, I think to an extent, I think we are done with understanding Excel functions that we even have for the next class. So that means that we can easily crash some other thing. Okay, fantastic then. So I will not touch if in class today, but then we have logical statements. Okay, you have logical statements here. So possibly if I'm starting if here in the next class, I will just be doing it as an intro to this, because I'm not so sure this class will be able to take all these guys. But then let's see. So your if we do if in the next class so that I can take my time to explain how logical statement works, so that we can lay foundation, a very solid foundation into logical statements that we can build up on later. So your count is simply your count, but then we have count and we have count A. We have your normal count and we have your count A. What is the difference between your count and count A? So let's say equals to count. So your count says choose the number of cells in a range that contains number. Let's count A. Count the number of cells in a range that are not empty. That are not empty. So that's why we have count blank also. Count the number of empty cells in a specified range of cells. So now let's use our count. I want to try it on two things. Counts. Let's use our count on this our first guy. Let's count the number of students. Enter. Can you see that it is giving us 0 deliberately? It's giving us 0. Let's now use count again. Count again for our values. This numbers and then enter. Can you see we have 39 students in class? The question now is that we use count for this. We use count for this. Why is this one counting? This one is returning 39 and this one is returning 0. Who can tell us why? Let's see if we have people that are ready to bail us out in class. Who can tell us why? The possible why. Who wants to try? Is anybody trying? The class is silent. So are we sure we are still? Are we still in class? Everybody is now silent. So, Miss Kemi, are you in class? Okay, so you omitted yourself to show me that you are in class, but then not to answer my question. Rachel said she's in class. Yes, sir. So why are you guys not answering my question? Okay, so basically, let's do the same test for with our count A. Let's do the same test with our count A. Count A. So let's count these guys from here to here, and then we have our 39. Count A. Enter. We have our 39. So basically, how these guys operate is that your count only recognize integers, that is numbers. Your count only recognize numbers. So the reason why this guy is returning 0 is because we are using it on tests. We are using it on tests. So it does not recognize tests. It can only count these guys because these guys are values. They are integers. That's the reason why it is returning 39 for us. But then this guy can't he can count anything. He can count anything, like anything. It will count it. Whether text, whether numbers, whether this, whether that, it will. So that is why we have your count A returning your values for this and for this. But then your count is returning your value for this and it is returning 0 for this. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, any questions so far?
So
Okay, I'm with you.
yeah. So when you did the count that returns 0, you highlighted the first column.
I highlighted the column with text, the name of students.
Okay.
So this is it. Count. Can you see? I highlighted the column with the name of students, and it is returning 0. So So, but then this time around, I highlighted the column with scores, and it's returning 39. So in the same vein, for this one also, I highlighted column with names over here, and it's returning the value. And then for this, I highlighted this guy also, and your text, your numbers, and it's returning this. So that is how the book operates. Are we clear about that? Okay, so let me. Okay, so is there any question from tonight's class? I think we can end tonight's class earlier. So is there any question from tonight's class? Let's look at it. Is there any question from tonight's class? Yeah, is there any question from tonight's class? If I start my logical statements, I want to be able to finish it, and then I think we have enough that can take you for a whole week already. You have what can take you for the next 5 days already. By the time you go through the videos again, by the time you try to check out all your interface to see what we actually discussed about the interface, and then you try to replicate this that we did in class. I think that will be a good start. So I think that would be a good start for us. So any question from our class? So let me save this on the head. Any question from our class tonight or our class so far? Any question? Any question? Anybody? Any question? Any question or? So if you don't have any question, not from your end. Okay, so if you don't have any question, I think we can call the class a night from here, and then oh, okay, this is not what I want. I will fix this. I will upload it on your LMX tonight. Actually, I will upload it tonight so that you can start working on your assignments, and then seeing how we can get you can see your understanding of this thing. So if there's no question for tonight, so let me say it has been the first 3 days has been a very wonderful one.